Holy moly, well, it took me some time. I moved my setting, trying something out different today, and took me about 20 minutes to connect here, but with any new venture, there's bound to be some challenges, especially when it comes to the technical aspects. So, welcome. You probably, the few people who do know me for my streams, know me as Crispy Bub. My actual name is Chris Spleit. I do streaming on Twitch, YouTube, also my Facebook page quite often, or I should say, trying to get there at an often level. I've been pretty consistent lately with my Cyberpunk 2077 streams, so I did want to try something a little bit different this evening. I am an avid mixed martial arts fan, not just UFC, but I do follow the major promotions. Do try to check in with some of the smaller ones. As well, because obviously there's some up and coming talent. So my goal is actually to release these videos, hopefully on a weekly basis, maybe a few a week, where we tackle some of the smaller subjects as they come up. But I thought a great way to get started would be with this epic card coming up on Saturday. That's Saturday, I believe the 6th. Today is the 4th. I would make Saturday the 6th. That's correct. We have 3 title fights. That's with in the main event, Jan Blachowicz defending his title for the first time against Israel Adesanya, walking up from middleweight, coming up from middleweight. We also have Peter Yan against Aljamain Sterling. I skipped over the co-main event, which is Amanda Nunes defending her 145 belt against Megan Anderson. So, going to be an interesting night. I figure we'll cover majority of the card. Some of the preliminary fighters I've seen a few times. We'll use some references like Tapology, maybe ShareDog, the old Wikipedia. We'll see if we need any insight, but we'll cover some of the fights for this card, and I think it'll be fun to generate some discussion. Hopefully, we can get some comments. If anyone does actually join the stream, I'd love your input, any suggestions on who you think would win. Not a huge fight odds guy. I'll definitely give my picks on who I think is going to win, but definitely from a betting perspective, don't know if you want to necessarily take my advice. I don't bet very often. When I do, the odds are here and there. So we can get started off. As I say that, we lost our desktop audio. Oh boy. Or desktop video, rather. Might have to restart here, guys. Give me 2 seconds. We had this all prepared, and then I had to reset my Streamlabs, and this is what we are given. Okay, I'm going to pause for 2 seconds. Yeah. And we got Cat joining me, too. Get out of here. Alright, 2 seconds, guys. Still working away here, guys. I'm sorry about that. I had everything ready, and of course, We might have to go offline for just a second. Gosh darn it. Let's just close my personal stuff here. Super exciting, I know, guys. Oh boy, would you look at that. Editing on the spot, as professional as it gets. As professional as it gets, folks. Like I said, there were some technical errors today. I don't pretend to be an absolute professional, but I had this prepared, and it didn't really work out that way. Alright, let's get off my face within a face Twitch login. Alright, let's look at the card ahead, guys. Ah, boy. Threw me off here. So we already talked about the three title fights at the top of the card. We also have Islam Makhachev and Drew Dober at lightweight, and Thiago Santos and Alexander Rakic at light heavyweight, rounding out the main card. The preliminary main event, if you will, is Dominic Cruz returning after his defeat to Henry Cejudo. He's fighting the up and coming Casey Kenny. We got Kyler Phillips taking Yadong Song. I don't know if that'll be at bantamweight or featherweight. I want to say Yadong fights at featherweight, so maybe Kyler Phillips is coming up for this one. We have Joseph Benavidez. He's coming back from his knockout. He got knocked out and submitted back-to-back by Davidson Figueiredo, the lightweight champion. He's fighting the surging Askar Askarov, who I believe had a layoff due to COVID-19. We'll double-check that in 2 seconds. Flyweight belt, we got Kai Kara France. He's coming off of that loss to Riddell, I believe, and he's fighting the Brazilian Rogério Bontorin. Big card, guys. 15 fights. We got Tim Elliott. He'll be going against Jordan Espinoza. That's another flyweight belt. Some deceiving records there from both guys, 16-11 and 15-8. Tim Elliott especially, his record doesn't really do good full justice of what kind of murderer's row he's gone through. We got Carl Alberg and Kennedy. This is a tough one, I guess. Kennedy Nchukwu. That's horrible pronunciation, probably. I believe it's a Nigerian flag there, so my Nigerian friends might be able to tell me how to pronounce that name rather there. Nchukwu. Yeah, Kennedy Nchukwu. I think that would be. Hey, Grizango Bob. I appreciate the support. So Grizango Bub, first time doing MMA podcasts. I'm just trying to talk about the UFC 259 card. Would love for you to be a good friend and supporter. Add to the chat. That'd be great. As you can see, in my basement, by myself. Yeah, just doing a live stream. Call it a podcast if you will. maybe Grizenko Bub, you can tell me which fights you're excited for in a little bit. So we got Sean. So that was a light heavyweight belt. We got Sean Brady. He'll be taking on Jake Matthews. That'll be at welterweight. Is that a welterweight belt? Why did I think that Jake Matthews was at middleweight? No, he fought the Leech and what? No, I guess at welterweight. No, he must have fought. He fought at lightweight at one point. That's what I'm thinking. He went up to welter. Got Liviana Souza taking on Amanda Limos, Earls Medic versus Alan Cruz, and Trevin Jones coming off that horrible drug suspension from smoking marijuana. He'll be fighting Mario Batista. I guess the Tapology is listed. We did have a canceled bout. It was Trevin Jones versus Randy Costa. I can't force someone to play Twister with me, Grizengo Bub. On camera, in front of everybody. You'll get a personal video sent to you. You're that special. That's Cyberpunk 2077. You can check out Crispy Bub Plays Cyberpunk 2077 Night City Shenanigans. Check me out on YouTube. I will finish that game as well. I'm actually at the very end. Grizengo Bub distracted me yesterday before I could finish. He's telling me it's a party going down. Yeah, playing Twister. Okay, Grizengo Bub. I gotta get focused here. Trevin Jones' fight should be interesting. He is coming off of a, like I said, a no contest. He finished fight round 2 against Timur Valiev. Oh, Grizengo Bub, you're making me laugh. Twister the hotspot. He had a pair of wins that got him into the UFC, and it was nice for him to actually get a win, only for it to be taken away. It's kind of crappy that really that's how the USADA drug suspensions are being utilized. To remove that guy's win, it's pretty crazy. Grizengo Bub, you're very distracting. I'm trying to do this podcast here and saying you're bored and want me to play Twister. It's not very supportive. Yeah, when you're on MSN, no one spoke with you. Interesting that UFC picked him up. He wasn't that active in 2019. He only had 2 wins, and he had lost, I guess, 2 split decisions before that, which is interesting. Mario Batista is one of those guys that I don't know if he's like 14 or 40. He's got one of those faces. But 8-1 record, not too shabby. Only loss is to Corey Sandhagen, which if you're gonna lose to anybody, that's a loss that's aged well. Corey Sandhagen being basically #1 contender right now, waiting for the winner of Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling this weekend. Not a bad place to be in. So for the fact that that's his only loss on his record since then, he has the win over Jinsu Sun and then defeating Milo Johns on his last bout, which is February of last year. So big layoff here for Mario Batista. Coming against a decent guy in Trevin Jones, so should be interesting. Most of his wins, he has a couple TKOs, a couple stoppages, but he does have, well, I guess he has a good balance of TKOs and submissions, which isn't bad at all. Checking out some of his other Tapology stats here. He had a decent amateur record as well. I mean, if I had to say with this one, Trevin Jones did look good in his last fight. If I compared his record to record, I mean, Mario Batista's only lost once, and it's to one of the best in the division by armbar. Since then, he's had 2 wins. Trevin Jones has been consistent lately. Mario Batista probably just sticks out a little bit more in my mind, just because Trevin Jones only had the 1 fight in the UFC. I probably lean towards Mario Batista in this one. Got the undefeated Oros Medic. Is he making his UFC debut here? He's coming off the Contender Series. I'm talking to whoever wants to come and join, and this gets recorded after. So this isn't the only time people can view me talking about this, Grizango Bub. That's just how technology works. Heard my producer upstairs, who she normally produces my stuff. Letting a little belch there. So, 5 wins in a row. All his fights were in Alaska FC. So, typically when you fight only in your state, and that state is Alaska, not to say there's bad MMA fighters from Alaska, your depth of competition isn't going to be the strongest here. And I swear, Grizango Bub, you're distracting me. This is going to be the worst first stream ever, thanks to you. This makes my video game streams even more coherent, and I'm multitasking much more than I am here. So, Earl's Magic, he's taking on the Alan Cruz. Again, all wins, undefeated, obviously, so yes, he's won every single time. But I should say all finishes, all by TKO or knockout. Again, I think that's something a little bit to say about his competition. His first fight ever, he won by punch. How many punches? I don't know. Oh, he has a triangle. Sorry, he has 2 triangle chokes. So, hey, he showed that he can mix it up a little bit. Mind you, his triangle choke wins were 1 minute 46 seconds. 3 minutes and 38 seconds. He has another KO at 2:52. Another is KO in the Contender Series was at 2:12. So he's never seen a third round. He's never gone to a decision. Kind of gives you just a little bit of skepticism, but yes, I choked because I think about this my diatribe. We have Alan Cruz, who 8-3, so he's 5 more fights. He's coming off of a loss, however. Fights out of the U.S. His only loss was to not his only loss. His most recent loss, rather, was to Spike Carlisle. It's something to note is that Spike Carlisle was recently released out of the UFC. You can do MMA math. That's not to say that you can't lose to someone who's no longer in the UFC and get past that point that you're at when you receive that L. But, I don't know. It was a quick loss, too. 1 minute 25. He got taken down early, and Spike Carlisle just started landing those. It was almost like a weird can opener elbows. I'm trying to remember. But nonetheless, before that, he had a flying knee win on the Contender Series. So this guy, Alan Cruz, also coming off the Contender Series, and he was on a 4-fight win streak before losing to Spike Carlisle. So interesting. He has some decision wins. He actually has seen the third round before. Mind you, it's a loss. He did have a championship fight against Damon Blackshear. He went to round 4. So I'd have to rewatch that fight to see what his cardio looked like. But his win over Steve Wen was at 436 in round 3 as well. So that was a late finish. It's a tough one here. Euros Medic is undefeated, but I think Alan Cruz is the more proven commodity. I guess. I know the Spike Carlisle win isn't the greatest, or loss rather isn't the greatest, but both guys are around the same height. They're both tall for what lightweights. They're at 6'1", so that's interesting. Both tall, lanky guys. I'd probably lean towards Alan Cruz, but we'd have to see. So they have Cruz as the underdog. Plus 140 most of the lines. In Eros Magic, you can get him at about -160, between -160 and -180. And Trevin Jones, yeah. So Mario Batista is the favorite in that fight, and Trevin Jones is the underdog, which is kind of what I was thinking. They apparently odds makers, people who are betting right now as well, are betting on Eros Magic. So my connection is choppy. 6'1", so that's interesting. Little tall, lanky guys. I probably lean towards Alan Cruz. We'll have to see. That's a tough one. What do the odds have? It is a little choppy, isn't it? Sorry guys, I was just just trying to check my stream to see what it's like. Grizango Bub was being a good soul. Thank you, BBJ. But you shouldn't have to do that though. I think it has to do with my placement in the in my household. All right. Let's see here. I just want to see, because I don't remember. No, she was in Jungle Fight, right? Because I know she was a Brazilian export. So, right. So we have Lavinia Souza. I think she was. She actually was a former Invicta champion before she transferred over to the.